Top of the morning to you. If you're rocking with me, welcome on in to the Leadership Podcast. And if you're rocking me under the sound of my voice, man, and you can hear me, do me a favor. Go ahead, like the page, share the feed. We truly appreciate it. For you guys who don't know, man, my name is Dwayne Roberts, and I'll be your host for the Leadership Podcast. Our goal here is to influence, inspire, and ignite. We empower men to make the shift in their personal leadership and share the tools and tips to becoming their authentic self, helping you overcome limiting beliefs so you can thrive and walk out your God-given purpose. Hey guys, we're talking 3 laws of growth. We're taking this, we're doing a 3-part series from the John Maxwell 3 laws of growth. I really went into some thought, man. Some interesting thought, right? I thought about how much time I was taking to press my shirt, the front and the back, how intentional I was about the effort that I was giving towards pressing out the wrinkles, and pressing in the crease in the sleeves, you know, and making sure that the collar was folded down right, pressing it out with the iron. And it made me think and ask the question for myself, what areas in my life I'm not intentional at, you know, or that I can improve or need to be more intentional about? The area that's most important for me is my personal leadership. You know, how intentional are you with your personal leadership? We're talking 3 laws of growth. Again, and we're going to do this in a 3-part series. And the 3 laws of growth that John Maxwell shares with us are the law of intentionality, the law of awareness, and the law of the mirror. And that's what we're going to talk about today, guys. Is that good? I hope so. I hope that's good. But first, before we get started, man, I want to first I want to invite you out, man, to step in your purpose men's Bible study every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. You can connect with us and step into your purpose men's Bible study. I want to encourage you, head over to the webpage, DwayneHRoberts.com. There you can register for the Bible study series. And we're going to take the law of intentionality today. And I just want to catch you guys up who just tuning in, bring you up to speed. How do we get here? You know, it's like, again, I shared that this past week that I was just pressing my shirt. I was getting prepared for my week and ironing my clothes. And I realized how much effort and how intentional I was to prepping and ironing out my clothes. Ask the question, how intentional am I in other areas in my life? And what are the areas that's most important for me to develop, to be intentional in? And from a leadership perspective, leadership is where I want to be more intentional. So if I'm going to be intentional in my leadership, that means that 1, leadership starts with me, and 2, that I must be intentional with the areas in which I grow and develop myself in. To reach your potential, you must grow. And to grow, you must be highly intentional about it. Now, for me, there was 2 words that really caught my eye here. And they're probably quite obvious for you too, right? And the 2 words were, one is the word potential and the other is intentional, right? That's what really caught my eye. That's what stood out for me. And so tapping into this, right? Understanding potential, I think, is a phenomenal word. If I could be really honest, it's just downright, this word is just downright sexy for me. Potential. I'll say it again. Potential. It flows. It's rhythmatic. It's powerful. Potential. It's smooth. You're right. And for me, it's a beautiful word. It's a great word. And when you consider potential, are there any additional words that come to mind? What are the additional words that come to mind when you think of the word potential? Now, I'll say them Immediately, when I hear or think of the word potential, I think of possibilities. When I hear or think of the word potential, I hear capabilities, what I'm capable of making happen. When I hear the word potential, optimism shoots into my thought because you have to be optimistic about accomplishing and reaching your goals. When I think or hear the word potential, I think of fulfillment, right? In actuality, this word potential speaks of fulfillment of my personal greatness. And I have to admit, guys, for so long, um, I was blinded by the fact that I had potential. But when I woke up, when I realized, when I understood, when I got hold of what God was truly saying to me, I realized that there was nothing going to hinder me from reaching my full potential. Here is food for thought. We know that God is omnipotent, right? At least scripture tells us that, right? The good book tells us that, right? Omnipotent means that God is always powerful. Now, I want to break this down just a little bit more. I want to break this word down just a little bit more. Omnipotent. Omni means always or universal. Potent means full of power. In essence, God is always full of power. In essence, God is unlimited power. I need you to stay with me on this. I don't want to lose you. Stay with me here. If we are made in the image of God, yeah, y'all read that before in the good book in Genesis, right? God made man in his image. He said, let's make God man in our image. Yeah, we're made in the image of God. Does that mean too that we have power? Yeah, we have unlimited power. We have unlimited potential. Scientists estimate this, that we use as little as 10% of our own personal potential. In essence, 90% of our potential lies dormant. It goes wasted. Maybe you heard the saying, the wealthiest places in the world are the graveyards, because so many people die never reaching or obtaining or doing the thing in life they desire to do. They haven't maximized or utilized their potential. We never tap into our God-given resource to produce our God-sized dreams for life. And if your potential is lying dormant, it's on reserve, you have untapped strengths, you might also have unused success and hidden talents. I need you to understand that we must be intentional about our growth. Growth is not automatic. If you're going to grow, you're going to have to grow intentionally. In essence, to grow intentionally means to make the leader's shift by seizing an opportunity to grow yourself. Come on. When you think about the shift in leadership, it's seizing opportunity, it's honing a sense of awareness, it's identifying limitations or blind spots, it's focusing on growth, yep, and it's taking action on what's important to you. We must seize a growth opportunity in our life. And this is where we are, guys. We're talking intentional growth. So if you're going to develop yourself, the truth is you need to establish a growth plan. What would that growth plan look like? I just remember feeling stuck, lacking direction, not sure how to make the next move in my life, the best move in my life. And I think it's because I didn't have a growth plan. I was living life aimlessly. Yeah, I would spend my days on the back porch staring off into the abyss of nothing. How many of you just stare around doing nothing? How many of you don't take initiative in your life? How many of you don't have a goal or dream or vision to accomplish? You go through the same thing day in, day out in life. You wake up, go to work, come home, sit on your couch, watch TV till it's time to go to bed. In some cases, you're trying to find things to keep you busy. And you can't find, and I don't know about you, but you can't find much. At least I can't find too much. Yeah, I got it. We go to the gym. That can be a growth plan. Yep. I got it. We hang out with our friends. Yep, absolutely. That could be a growth plan, spending some time with friends. But I'm talking about personal development. I'm talking of developing your, raising the IQ. Yeah. Raising your personal IQ for what your leadership could possibly look like. Because it's easy to run into the gym when you're frustrated with your wife. I just gotta get out of the house. I'm going to the gym. It's easy. It's easy to go hang out with the fellas because you don't want to deal with the kids. I got it. I understand that. I understand that. It's easy to find anything else to do, but get focused on areas for yourself that you can improve on. I want to bring it back to the beginning of the segment where I was sharing with you that I found myself ironing my shirt. And as I was pressing out my shirt, I realized how intentional I was to bump out the wrinkles in my shirt. Not just on the front of my shirt so it can be pressed fresh and fly, but on the back of my shirt. Why give so much effort to the back of the shirt when you know the moment you put the shirt on, you move around a few meters or inches, you sit down, you jump in the car, you in and out of the car, you up and down, that the shirt will start wrinkle in the back. Right? We focus so much on the little things that add no value to our lives. And we never get to this place of focusing on the things that exponential value in our lives, like our personal leadership. Who am I? Who do I desire to show up as? How do I desire to lead my personal life so I can be an example for those immediately around me? My wife, my kids, my friends, my coworkers. We never tap into that, being intentional about who we desire to be. And I believe that for you to develop the leader within, for you, that we have to get to this place of being intentional about our growth. I want to help you with this. I believe that you're going to have to develop a growth plan. Now, I don't know what your growth plan look like, right? It can be as simple as starting reading a book, as far as I'm concerned. It can be as simple as going to a seminar. It can be as simple as joining online communities, or if you're watching me social media, this can be the very start of your growth plan. You know what? Let me find some guys that's doing some things that I want to be doing. Let me connect with people who are making the needed added value in their life that may very well help me tap into potentially more, potentially help me become more than where I am now, to where I can do more, be more, have more in life, right? So in some cases, I believe that many of us, while we consider a growth plan, we consider going to seminars, we even consider joining online communities or connecting. Many of us take the time to connect with growth series on social media and watch the full content. Watch it from beginning to end. Or do our attention span get lost and we start going off and doing other things? I'm just curious to know. That's just a curiosity question for me, right? I'm just curious to know how many of us watch the full content. Because I think that what happens is when it comes to our growth, when it comes to us being able to seize the opportunity and develop the growth plan, when it comes to seizing the opportunity and investing in seminars or online community, what happens is we are limited by our belief. Yep. this belief system creeps in. Yep. What I mean by this is that many of us may need to overcome our limiting belief, because our limiting beliefs are what creates the gap or the blind spots in our life. Meaning that there's a gap where you are now to that limits you from fulfilling your potential. In essence, in essence, oftentimes we make what which Maxwell calls the assumption gap. We assume that I'll grow automatically. Yep. I don't have to do anything. I'll just sit here and wait for it to fall in my lap, and I'll grow into the person I desire to be. 90% of people have this same assumption. Ready? And they all stuck. They all lack direction. Yep. That's where I was a few years ago, sitting on my back porch, waiting for growth to happen. Stuck. Growth is intentional. Let's make the move to growth, right? Number two, first, stop making the assumption. Remove the assumption. Remove this limiting belief that growth will grow, that is automatic. Number two, we have the knowledge gap. This is a gap that limits us from fulfilling our potential, meaning I don't know how to grow myself. I don't know what to do. I'm not sure where to start. Here's something interesting to know. Who knows where they want to start? Just start. If I can be honest with you, I didn't know where to start. I started by cracking a Bud Light can. I started by rolling some weed, Colorado's finest, top shelf. Start smoking weed. I started by complaining and grumbling about where I was until the light bulb clicked. And I just said, you know what? I have to start somewhere. And it started by getting hold, for me, a vision. What do I want life to look like? Where do I want my life to go? Who do I desire to become and be? I want to encourage you, if you got that knowledge gap, don't worry about it. Just go ahead, just start. Number three, the mistake gap. I'm afraid to make a mistake. Anybody afraid to make a mistake? I love this. I got to admit, I was terrified of making the mistake. Why? Nobody wants to fail. Everybody want to do their best. I got it. Newsflash, your learning comes from your mistakes. Here's a question for you to answer. How many mistakes have you made up to this point now that you've learned from? Yep, they're going to happen. No big deal. Go ahead, pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and learn from the mistake, right? Step beyond the fear, because the best things in life are on the other side of fear. The things that you didn't think you can do, the mistakes you didn't want to happen, are on the opposite side of stepping through the fear. Don't be fearful of making the mistake. Number four, Maxwell says this, the perfection gap. We're limited by the perfection gap. I have to find the best way before I start. Do you know how many people I coach or talk with tell me this? That before I start, I got to make sure it's perfect. Ready? Stop overthinking. I promise this is not, if life is simple, man. I think we make life hard. Uh, I believe life is simple. I think if you just get to this place and just start, just make the step, just do something, stop overthinking it. Don't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect when the product is done. It just has to get done. Listen, if you go back, I promise you, if you go back to my YouTube videos, man, shucks, you ain't even got to go back that far. I'll be real with you. You got to go back that far. But if you deep dive into my YouTube videos, man, listen, I have some of the imperfect videos of a lifetime. I promise you, I don't think I'm just being real, right? They they wasn't perfect, but I did them. Ready? I still do them. Guess what? They ain't perfect, but I'm starting, I'm doing, I'm working it. I'm taking action on what's important to me. Take the action. Remove the perfection from you. Number 5, Maxwell says this. This the um it's the time gap. Man, if you can just get removed from believing the limiting belief that it's just not the right time. Well, allow me to ask you this question. And I would love somebody to answer this too. I'll be honest. I would love to know the answer to this one, right? And that is, if it is not the right time, if it's not the right time, when is the right time? Is the right time to remove the limiting belief that it's not the right time? Does it show up when you're stuck? Could the right time be when you're feeling stuck? I guess that's a better way of asking. Maybe the right time is when you had enough of the pain, the challenge, and the struggle. Maybe the right time is when you are sick and tired of showing up to the dead end job that you seem to never be able to get the promotion on. Yeah. Or will the right time be when you lose that job? That's exactly what happened to me. Being limited in my belief, waiting for the right time. Interesting enough, the right time showed up a week prior to Christmas when I got terminated from my job. Oh, they let your boy go the week before Christmas. And I don't know about you, but that had the most depleting feeling that I had ever felt. And I simply recall walking out of the establishment, looking up to the dark, overcast, the clouds. And I looked up and I said to the Lord, I said, I guess you got something else better for me because I don't know what else to do. I don't know what else to do. It had never seemed to be the right time because I was always comfortable with where I was. Don't allow the right time to show up after they done fired you. The time, the time for growth, the time to be intentional is now. Yeah, the time is now. You need to make this shift, seize the opportunity to grow yourself now. So, being intentional with your growth means that you have to build the plan. And so, I want to give you 4 starting points to be intentional. Yep, I want to give you 4 starting points to be intentional with your growth plan. If you're ready in the chat, let me know how you feel. Drop the 3 in the chat. Put GP. Let me know. Share the growth plan with me, D. Growth plan. The number one, first thing you need to do, man, when it comes to the growth plan. I see you. I see you, Carlton. Thank you. Thank you, my friend. Listen, the growth plan. 1, you have to make the commitment to grow. You have to make the commitment to grow. If you don't get committed, you'll keep being stagnant. You'll still move aimless. See, I share with you, I was sitting on my back porch and I was listening to the tunes of Otis Redding, and listening to the tunes of Otis Redding, it became clear to me that I was allowing my life to pass me by. I jumped up, I ran in the house, and I wrote 3 words down. You ready for this? I was committed. The moment I realized that I was allowing my life to pass me by, commitment set into my heart. Commitment was the thing that settled for my in my thought process. I have to get committed to what I'm doing. I can't stay committed to being stuck. I can't stay committed to being where I am. There is a possibility there for me. Remember, potential words that stand out to me when I think of potential are possibilities, capability, optimism, fulfillment. Yeah. For me, potential speaks to fulfillment of my personal greatness. So when the my that first place for me for growth is getting committed. The second, number two, once you get committed, go ahead, share your commitment with somebody. This is what I did. I shared my commitment with my wife. Now I'm gonna be honest. The look she gave me was like, okay, I hear you. But I mean, come on. What else can you expect when you didn't show up for yourself all the years before, all the other times before? You never showed up before. Today, that moment, that time, I got committed, right? And I shared it with her. I said, listen, things are about to change. I'm gonna get my life together. I'm about to go back to school. I'm gonna start this business. I'm gonna help men. I don't know how I'm gonna start it, but I'm gonna do it. That was my commitment. I shared that commitment with her. Number three, so one, make the commitment personally for yourself. Number two, share the commitment with somebody else. But third, this is the growth plan, right? The third part of that is identify the area in your life that you want to grow in. Yep. Just think of 2 or 3 areas to grow in. Here's the problem with most of us. When we think we get to this place of commitment and dreaming and having a vision for life, we always think of the end process. We never think about right now. We think about where we want to go, what things going to possibly look like. And we try to go from 0 to 100, but we never took step number 1. What's the first step in your life that you can begin to channel, you can develop and grow in? Think of 2 or 3 areas right now where you are that you would say, you know what, this is the area I can consider to grow in. John says this: make the choice. Consider 2 areas. One area is a choice of development. For example, that choice could be develop your attitude. It could be that choice could be develop your discipline for yourself. And then the other one is a skill set. What's the skill that you need to learn or develop so you can continuously grow, right? And so for me, my choice was to develop my attitude in life. Secondly, when it came to a skill set, all I did was begin to pick up a book and read. I listen, I just picked up a book and read. I think I might have learned this from my brother, Carlton. We used to live together, right? And I will watch him every day come home and pick up a book and read. He wouldn't turn the TV on. He'll lay across his bed. He'll have 4 or 5 books across the bed, but he'll be reading for hours. Matter of fact, if I would go back and check in on him, he'll be asleep with his face in the book. There's something phenomenal that happens when you expand your growth, the possibilities of growth when you just read. And you can read anything. I'm not going to tell you to read what I read. You, you know, I literally picked up my first book I read was by Mark Batterson, and in a pit on a snow cold day with a lion. That was the first book I read. That was the process, the book that pushed me into conquering my fears, finding courage to go through the things in life that I needed to develop to become the person that I am today. And don't get me wrong, I'm still growing. I'm still working. I'm still intentional. Invest 1 hour a day in the area of growth. Yep. Meaning that you prepare, you practice, and you reflect. I'll say it again. 1 hour a day in whatever area of growth that you're working in, and one of those 1 or 2 areas that you're growing in, and you prepare, you practice, and you reflect. And so, what do I mean by prepare? Preparation is studying. You know, practice is putting what you're learning to work. You know, um, channel what you're learning, share it with others, develop it, and then lastly, reflect on it. Jot some notes about it. Identify the limitation, and then ask yourself, what action can I take to better build this area, to develop this area? That's it. 4 starting points for intentional growth. Make a commitment, share your commitment with somebody else, identify two or three areas that you want to grow in. And then 4, invest 1 hour a day developing in that area by preparing, practicing, and reflection. If this was good, man, in the chat, let me know what were some of your biggest takeaways, man. I want to say never miss an opportunity to grow yourself, man. You can connect with your boy by simply going over to the webpage, DwayneHRoberts.com. There you can connect with the leadership community. I want to say thank you for taking time and rocking with your boy. As you always hear me say, your success is in your hands. Go have a fabulous day with purpose. God bless.